If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first 2 loves together. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Education doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. The learning process continues until the day you die. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. They know enough who know how to learn. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it is in the home, school, or any place. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. He who opens a school door closes a prison. Education is the ability to meet life situations. Learning starts with failure. The first failure is the beginning of education. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Education consists mainly of what we have unlearned. If you have to put someone on a pedestal.
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? Please put a yes in the chat if I'm audible. Okay, thank you. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research, jointly organized by the IQAC of Vasireddy Venkatadri Institute of Technology, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and the IQAC of Siddaganga Institute of Technology, Tumkur, Karnataka, in association with IPSR Solutions Limited. Today, we would like to welcome Dr. Mendes Jacob, who is the Professor and Director, MCA, Marine College, Kottayam Autonomous, MD and CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited. He will be the resource person for today. And we would like to welcome all the FTP participants who are joined today. Now, about this FTP, this is a one-week FTP program with live sessions from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And this is our 5th day of the FTP. Now, fee for the LMS access and processing of certificate is rupees 400. All the participants who are paying the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recordings for all the days, and provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving that certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FTP. If any of you would like to get the LMS access and also have the provision to download the certificate, you can pay the amount of rupees 400 to the account details I have put in the chat already. If you were unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. Now, we have shared the LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access later in the day or by tomorrow. If you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can join the YouTube live session with the link that I have already put in the chat. You can use that to join the YouTube live stream. Now, my name is Sujin Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's session, today's FTP technical session, the topic is going to be mapping of outcomes, calculation of attainment, and analytical reports, AI-assisted assessments. This will be delivered by Dr. Mendes Jacob, who is a Professor and Director, MCA, Marine College, Kottayam Autonomous. Dr. Mendes Jacob is an academician and an entrepreneur with 35 plus years of experience and is a former Director of School of Applicable Mathematics, MG University. He has acted as chairman and member of many academic bodies constituted by the university. He is also a member of academic and administrative bodies of many autonomous colleges, engineering colleges, and business schools. He is a PhD in operations research and has to his credit a number of national and international publications and guided PhD students in mathematics and computer science. He has served as a resource person for many national and international seminars and conferences in mathematics, management, and computer applications. He has organized, conducted, and served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs, including UGC-sponsored refresher courses. His areas of interest include national education policy, outcome-based education, accreditation, etc. He is part of the team that has trained more than 30,000 faculty members on outcome-based education and mentored many HEIs for OBE implementation. He is also the CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in the implementation of outcome-based education and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sachin. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay. So good evening, all, and welcome to this fifth day section on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research. And the last few days, we are discussing about the concepts of OB, starting from the learning domains, then design of outcomes, and in between we had some sections regarding the best practices or the implementation experiences, in, especially in the Canadian University. And also we had a section on generative AI in research. Also, all of you know, Bloom's taxonomy is one of the important concepts when we implement outcome-based education, starting from the design of curriculum, which includes the design of outcomes, then mapping of outcomes for attainment calculation. Everywhere we use Bloom's taxonomy. So we will start the section with a brainstorming section. Like I will give you some questions, and if we can classify those questions into different Bloom's taxonomy levels. So we'll start with a small exercise. so that we can understand the mapping process and the attainment calculation in a better way. Most of the institutions, when we used to take sections, the main challenge of the faculty members is in mapping of the outcomes, then mapping assessments with outcomes, mapping questions with outcomes, then also the attainment calculation, that process. So today we will go through all these sections, like all these topics, like mapping of outcomes, then how to calculate the attainment, and some analytical reports. If you are using some tools, we can have some analytical reports of outcome-based education. That also is useful for accreditation purpose. Okay, so we will start with a small exercise. I think Dr. Sunil Job has skipped that one last day because of the time constraint. So I will just start at that point of. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, my screen is visible, I hope.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So can you read a question there? There's a question like, a student learns from notes the answer to a question. Analyze the motives of the speech by Mark Antony, the Shakespearean play, Julius Caesar, and gives a perfect answer to the question in his own words. Okay. So what is the knowledge level of that particular question? Analytical, understand. Okay. Now the question is, analyze the motives of the speech by Mark Antony, the Shakespearean play, Julius Caesar. That is a question. Okay. Now the context is, a student learns from the notes. That means the faculty member, the teacher who is teaching that particular subject, the faculty member is giving the notes. And the student is writing the answer in his own words after studying the notes. So some responses are coming up. Analyze, understand. Then somebody has mentioned K5, that means evaluate level. Yes, K2, that means understanding level. Analyze level. Fourth level, that is analyze level. Understand, okay. Yeah, you look at the cognitive challenge of the student. Like, the student is getting notes. The student is getting notes, and he is going through the notes, but is giving the answer in his own words. Okay, that means studying the notes, understanding the concept, and giving the answer in his own words. Okay, that is understand level only. It's not analyze level, even though the action verb is of analyze level, but the cognitive challenge here is only up to the understanding level maximum. So this question is of understanding level. Okay. So I'm giving you some insights to understand the Bloom taxonomy level in a better way. So this is understand level. Now, another question. Suppose this is another question. Find the OD of a cube when one of its sides is known. Suppose there is a question like this in that question paper. What is the level of this question? Find the OD of a cube when one of its sides is known. Apply. Yeah, K3 means apply level. K1, that means remember level. Okay. Apply. Okay. Okay. Again, look at the cognitive challenge of the student. What is the cognitive challenge of the student? It can also be understand level. Okay. Now the student is substituting the value, the formula. The formula is known. He can just memorize the formula and substitute the value. Maybe one of its sides is known. So just substitute the value there. So we'll get the answer. Even though we think that this is an application level, this is not application level. This is not analytical level. Maximum is just understand the concept. Okay. Or he has to understand which formula he has to apply it. So maximum it is understanding level. Or we can say even memorizing the formula, then he can give the answer. Another question, student is asked to conduct an experiment and examine the result of the experiment and record its conclusion. Student is asked to conduct an experiment and examine the result of the experiment and record its conclusion. So what is the level of this question? Play. K4, that means analyze level. Okay. This is just like a SWOT analysis. No? So student has to conduct an experiment and examine the result of the experiment. Okay, it's fine. It's analyze level, K4. Now, another question. Debate the pros and cons of net banking. Debate the pros and cons of net banking. What is the level of this question? K5, that means evaluate level. Understand level, K5. Okay. So debate the pros and cons of net banking. That means the student is asked to evaluate something. What are the pros and cons? What are the pros and cons of the net banking? So just analyze it, then just to evaluate the pros and cons. So this is evaluate level. It's not the create level. Somebody has mentioned K6. Then match the following inventions with their inventors. What is the level? Match the following inventions with their inventors. Apply. K1, K2. Okay. Match the following inventions with their inventors. No? Just memorizing the concept. Just memorizing it only. So this question is, the only cognitive requirement is just memorizing the facts. Okay. So this is K1. And finally, create a new model for classification of the learning objectives. So we have studied, we have gone through the Bloom's taxonomy concept. And if you are asked to create a new model instead of Bloom's taxonomy, of course, it is create level question. It's create levels question. Now, my question is, can we ask a create level question like this in the substantive exam? Maybe your substantive exam may be 2 hours or a maximum 3 hours. So can you ask a create level question during the substantive exam or for the substantive exam? Is it possible? No. Yeah. Most of the cases may not be possible, no, for asking a create level question in the substantive examination. Okay. Maximum up to evaluate level, it's okay, but even apply level and analyze level is more good. Yeah, you can come out with some project work, or you can give some assignments or seminars. The create level, that is possible, definitely. So the higher orders, mainly the evaluate level and create level, most of the cases you have to include it in the continuous assessments. Okay, that is more practical. Okay. project level is possible at the end semester exam. No, okay, that is also possible because with the emergence of new education policy, you can see there are new assessment methods we can incorporate. Even we can have the project as a semester end examination. That is possible. In that case, you can definitely include these create level questions. Okay. We generally ask to create a plan in building, planning, and drawing subject. Okay. Maybe I hope create a plan in building, planning, and drawing subject in civil engineering. So if you're asking for the semester end examinations, definitely, without a prior knowledge, like if the student has already done it during their course, or if you have provided some discussions in the class regarding that, then only then it's okay, fine. Otherwise, the semester end examinations, purely create level question is difficult. Okay. Project review plus CIA at UG. I couldn't understand what you mean. Project review plus CIA at the UG level. Okay. You mean continuous assessment now? Okay. Okay, we will go to the next slide. That is regarding the mapping. My new screen is visible, I hope. If it is visible, say yes in the chat box. This is OB process levels of mapping. It's visible, no? Okay. Okay, thank you. Here. Now, we will discuss how the mapping process can be done. So in order to calculate the attainment, you need to have mapped each and every course outcomes with the respective POs and also to PSOs, if PSOs are available. Okay. And for the time being, I'm skipping PEO. Okay. So we can map each and every course outcomes with the respective POs. And maybe for some courses, the PSOs are also there. So you have to map COs with PSOs also. So that is called the first level mapping or level 1 mapping. And in level 2 mapping, we will be mapping every activity or every assessment to the corresponding course outcomes. That is level 2 mapping. Okay, we will discuss both these mapping, level 1 mapping and level 2 mapping. And we will see how this mapping process can be done. Okay. Now, when we are discussing about assessment in outcome-based education, the final assessment is done by the estimation of program outcome and program-specific outcomes, both. So program outcomes and program-specific outcomes, which will serve as a profile of the students' competencies. Already we have discussed about the competencies, the POs and PSOs, the last section. Now, POs and PSOs are estimated from the components of COs related to the respective PO and PSO. So first of all, we will calculate the CO attainment, and all the COs are mapped with the POs and PSOs. So we can calculate POs and PSOs once COs are calculated. Okay. Now, COs are estimated from the component learning outcome of the activity related to that course. The first step in this process is to determine the mapping of the related components and determining the strength of mapping between lower order and higher order outcomes. Lower order outcome means the COs. Higher order outcome means the POs and PSOs. Okay. So first of all, we have to map the activities. And for mapping process, we need to have a standardized mapping scale. So this is a 4-point scale. Many institutions are using it. And according to the policy of the institution, you can change the mapping scale. If you want a 5-point scale, that is okay, fine. So we will consider this one, the 4-point scale for mapping purpose here. You can see weightage 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's a 4-point scale. Now, if a particular CO has no relationship with that a particular PO, the relationship is nil. So we will give 0 weightage there. Or if a particular question or an assessment activity which will not have any relationship with a particular CO, there also we will give 0. And if there is low relationship, the weightage can be 1. And if it is moderate, weightage can be 2. And if it is significant, weightage will be 3. We will definitely discuss with an example, then you can understand it in a better way. The same way, attainment. For example, if a student is getting 0% mark, 0% mark for a particular question, we can say the attainment is 0. In that case, weightage is 0. And we can set intervals like this, 1 to 50%. Weightage can be 1. 51 to 70% weightage can be 2. And 71 to 100% weightage can be 3. This also, according to the policy of the institution, you can change the interval. Like here we have 1 to 50%. We will give weightage 1. Okay, or low attainment. And 51 to 70% moderate attainment and weightage is 2. 71 to 100% significant attainment and weightage is 3. Okay, so according to the policy of the institution, we can change the scale, the intervals, everything. So that won't be a problem. So here I'm using this one, this mapping scale, for demonstrating how we can map the outcomes and to calculate the attainment. Okay. Now, we'll start with an example, level 2, that means CO, test item mapping. For every course outcome, it will start with an action web. So I think you have gone through that template of how to design a course outcome. So it should start with a level of action web. The level of your course outcome is the level of the action web from Bloom's taxonomy. And there is a learning domain for course outcome. The same way, for every activity or every question, every assessment activity, there is a level of the action web. Okay, just like the previous slide, we were discussing about each question which falls into which learning domain. So we look at the action web plus the cognitive challenge. Okay, so the level of action web, that is important, and the learning statement for each activity and for each question. Now, suppose we have a course on Bloom's taxonomy. The first day you had a section on Bloom's taxonomy. Suppose I'm designing the course outcome for the Bloom's taxonomy course like this. On completion of this course, on completion of this course on Bloom's taxonomy, the participants will be able to apply the Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. So all of the participants of this FDP have attended the Bloom's taxonomy section on the first day. Now, I'm designing the course outcome like this. After completion of this Bloom's taxonomy session, all the participants will be able to apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. That means by using Bloom's taxonomy concept, all of you can frame questions. All of you will be able to frame questions in your subject. That means you are applying Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. Suppose this is one of my course outcomes for this section of Bloom's taxonomy. What is the level of this course outcome? Can anybody comment on it? What is the level of this course outcome? Yeah, this is apply level. Okay, so this is apply level. That means the participants will be able to apply Bloom's taxonomy. You are applying Bloom's taxonomy in a real life situation to frame your questions. That is fine. Now, when we implement outcome-based education, we design the course outcomes. And after that, what is our goal as a faculty? Our goal is we teach all the students to attain the outcomes. So this is my outcome. I want every participant should attain this outcome. That means all the participants should be able to apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. So I have taken the section and I have given some assignments, some learning activities, like there was an activity, question paper analysis. So you have gone through your question paper, I hope, and you have analyzed the question paper. Okay, that was one of the activities. And in between, during the section, there were discussions. The resource person has provided you with some examples. So these are the learning activities. Okay, all focused on this outcome. Okay, now it is a time to check whether each of the participants are attained the outcome. For attaining outcome, we had all the activities, learning activities, everything was there. Now, I'm going to check whether all the participants have attained the outcome. Okay, for that purpose, I need assessments. Question paper analysis was one of the assignments. Now, suppose I'm going to conduct an exam. And in the question paper, my first question is this one. This is my first question. What is the question? Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. This is one of the question in my question paper. Okay, I'm going to conduct an exam. So what is the level of this question? What is the level of this question? Remember? It's not remember, it is. Yeah, it is understand level. Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. This is an understanding level question. Now, suppose I want to map this understanding level question to this particular CO. My question is level 2. My CO is, course outcome is level 3. So what should be the mapping strength? Can you guess? My question is of level 2. My CO is of level 3. What should be the mapping strength? I'm asking about the mapping strength. You just go through a mapping scale where we have low, moderate, significant, or nil. Nil, low, moderate, significant. My course outcome is of level 3, and my question is of level 2, one level less. Okay. Yeah, moderate, we can give 2. So it's only one level less. My question is one level less. Okay, you can give 2. Now, my second question, the question paper is, using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. What is the level? What is the level of this question? My God, create. No, not create. What about this question? What is the level of this question? Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. My question is, what is the level of the second question? Yeah, apply level. Because the participant has to apply Bloom's taxonomy. Because using Bloom's taxonomy means to apply Bloom's taxonomy for preparing an application level question in the subject. Okay, using Bloom's taxonomy means applying Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so this is level 3. My question is of level 3. And my CO, what about my CO? CO is also of level 3. CO is of level 3. And my question is again of level 3. What should be the mapping strength? High. Significant, no? Yeah, that is high, strong. So level 3, mapping strength is 3 now. In the mapping scale, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 is the highest. Okay, that means if my CO is of application level, then my question is also of application level. And suppose the student is getting 100% mark for this particular question. This question level attainment is 100%. Okay, the mapping strength is same. Now, one more question. Suppose this is another question in my question paper. Analyze the given set of 25 questions of your course based on Bloom's taxonomy. So based on Bloom's taxonomy, you have to analyze the 25 questions in your question paper. What is the level of this question? K4? Is it K4? What is the level? Yeah, level 4. So this is the level 4. This is the analyze level question. The same question was your task. Question paper analysis was your task. Okay. So this is an analyze level question. And what is my CO? CO is of level 3. And my question is of level 4. CO is of level 3. My question is of level 4. Now, suppose I want to map this question. Of course, I have to map this particular question to that CO. What is the level? Mapping strength. What is the mapping strength now? Moderate. High. Okay. Why it is moderate? Significant high. It is not one level less. My question is one level up. Whether it is possible to map. Okay. It's a good question. Yeah. Strong, significant. See, my course outcome is only in the application level. And my question is of analyze level. Okay. So after application comes analyze. Okay. So if you are asking a question on analyze level, and my course outcome is only on apply level, that means if the student is able to write answer for this particular question, definitely it is understood that he can also apply the concept. Because after apply comes analyze. So we can give high, significant mapping scale. That is level 3. Yeah, it is significant. The mapping strength is 3. Okay. So I'm trying to provide some insights. Do you have any questions regarding this? Because I'm expecting some questions. Usually in the physical sections, there are a lot of questions. So expect some questions. Okay. Do you have some confusions regarding design of COs? Whether it's possible to make the question like this, okay. Okay, yeah, any other questions? Okay, the problem is not with the questions because we have designed the CO in a lower level. So when we teach Bloom's taxonomy, you are teaching the student or the participants at least to the analyze level or even the evaluate level. Maybe we can leave create level. Okay. So for example, you have given a task to analyze your question. Okay. Yeah, we will be coming with the post articulation matrix later. Yeah. So we have designed the course outcomes on a lower level. That is the problem. And we are teaching the students to perform the task the higher order. So your CO should be the higher order. So what is your goal? What should be the outcome? That should be according to the goal. I'm asking, yeah, Dr. Anil Kumar, you asked the same. Yeah, definitely. So that means when we design the course outcomes, you can design course outcomes in the horizontal way or the vertical way. Horizontal way means if you have divide the syllabus into units or modules. In some institutions, you'll be dividing the syllabus into units, various units. And in some other institutions, dividing the syllabus into modules. Okay. And for each module or each unit, you can have a CO. Okay, that is more convenient for mapping purpose and later for attainment calculation. That is more convenient. But in every case, it is not possible. For some particular subject, you can have the overall COs for the overall syllabus, or we can call it vertical way of designing the COs. So horizontal way you can design COs, or vertical way you can design the COs. Now, suppose if we are going the horizontal way, take the first unit or first module. What should be the expected outcome of the first module? Okay, so you have to fit in the higher order. So probably in the first unit, you may be teaching up to the apply level, applying that concept. Then you should design the CO on the apply level. If the first unit is only in the understand level, it's okay, fine. You design the CO on the understand level. Then you can ask questions only in the understand level, up to understand level. So in a particular module or a particular unit, if you can ask questions in the analyze level, and in that module or unit, you are designing the CO in the apply level, then these type of problems will come. Okay, so there is no meaning in asking a higher order question for a low order CO. Okay, I hope you understood the concept. Now, we will discuss one more. I hope then you will be clear about it. Now, another CO. This is another course outcome of the same section, Bloom taxonomy, same goes. What is the course outcome? On completion of this course, the participants will be able to analyze the questions based on Bloom taxonomy levels. What is the level of this particular CO? What is the level of this particular CO, course outcome? Okay, level 4, analyze level. This is analyze level. Then which level of CO is better? How to determine? No, in each module or a unit, you can check what should be the cognitive challenge. See, for one particular module, suppose the student will be able to apply the concept after studying that module, or after teaching that module, the student can be able to apply the concept. You should focus, you have to design the CO on the apply level. Suppose the student can analyze something, then you should design the CO on the analyze level. For each module, you can do it. Otherwise, if the overall syllabus, suppose you are teaching a particular subject. Okay. For example, I was taking a section that was a physical section for in a college where one faculty was designed the COs only in the lower level, like Romer level, understand level, and the subject, the course was food technology. The first module itself, the students learn how to prepare food or how to cook a particular type of food. So that means the student can be able to apply what all things learned in that module. So at least we have to design the CO on the apply level. Then only you can ask questions that level. CO should be written module wise, or it could be irrespective of module. I mentioned about both the ways. No, you can write COs module wise. That is more easy for us to handle such things like mapping and attainment calculation. It is more easy. Otherwise, also it is fine. For example, for some subject, you can, irrespective of module, you have to write COs. So both are correct. Which level of C is better? How to determine? Okay, I already mentioned that. For some subject, we have to start with understand level, whether it is okay. Definitely. But maybe in the first module, you will be teaching only the concept. So the student should be able to understand the concept. Okay, that's fine. Depends on the cognitive challenge in that particular module. Previous example where yellow was analyzing level and CO was application. Does it mean there is a disparity? Yeah, there is no, it's not a disparity like if you are having a application level CO. No, as a faculty member, as a teacher, my objective is my students should attain that CO. The CO is only the application level. So to attain that application level CO, I have conducted some assignments or some task. And finally, I have to assess the student, whether the student has attained that outcome. So for that purpose, that the outcome is only application level. So what is the meaning in asking an analyze level question there? That is a disparity. Okay, there is nothing wrong in doing it, but logically, when we think about it, it's not good. That's all. Okay, I hope we'll have the question answer section at the end now. No, this is again I see level 4. Okay, and my question, what about my question here? What are the different levels of learning in cognitive level? Now, to check whether the CO is attained, I'm conducting the test. I'm conducting the exam. So this is one of my questions. What are the different levels of learning in cognitive level? The level is K1. This is only the level 1 question, no? Remembering level. Of course, it's remembering level. So what is the mapping strength? What is the mapping strength? Very low. Okay, we can give 1 probably. Yeah, we can avoid 0 because there is some relationship between this question and the CO. Then my question is, if you have filled the CO like this, and if you are asking a low order question, is it good? Yeah. So I think you are convinced now. So when we are facing a CO on the higher side, and you want to check whether that CO is attained, for that, if you are asking a low order question, there is no meaning in it. Okay. So these are the insights I want to convey. Another question, using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an application level question in your subject. What is the level of this question again? Already we have discussed this question. No? This is applying. That means level 3. And level 3 question you are mapping with the level 4 CO. Level 3 question mapping with the level 4 CO. Yeah. Mapping is moderate. You can give moderate because it's 1 level less. Analyze level is the CO. Application level is the question. Okay, fine. So this is how we can map. This is how we can map the assessments questions with the COs. Now, suppose I have 15 questions in my question paper. I start with each question, and to each COs I can map. This is only a demo of a table. Don't look at the mapping strength or anything else, but you will get a table like this. If there are 15 questions in the question paper, you can map each and every question with the different COs. And after the mapping process, you will get a table like this. Okay. Now coming to the CO-PSO mapping, this is level 1 mapping. We have discussed level 2 mapping. Now we have CO-PSO mapping. So how we can map COs with POs? Now PO means actually these are graduate attributes. For example, if you consider communication skills, that is a graduate attribute. To convert it into a PO, program outcome, you have to identify the competencies related to the particular graduate attributes. So what are the competencies related to a particular PO? For example, communication skills. The student should be able to read, write, we can say read, write, comprehend, use modern technologies to communicate. Okay. Speak. All this comes under the competence, under this communication skill. Okay. So we can have different competencies associated with a particular PO. Now, identify the competencies of that PO and consider one CO. For example, CO1. CO1. Okay. Then, how many of these competencies of that PO1 are addressed by this particular CO? Based on that, you can give the mapping strength. Suppose if more than 40% of the competencies are addressed, more than 40% of the competencies of that PO is addressed by a particular CO, you can give 3, the maximum for the significant mapping scale there. Because POs are more generic. Okay. It's not just like a questions mapping with the COs. Between 25% to 40%, we can give 2. Between 25%, 5%, you can give 1, or less than 5%, 0. So this is the process, how we can map CO with the PO. But by practice, you can do it. It's not a big thing. Like just like evaluating your answer papers. For the first 10 answer papers, you may need 1 hour or 2 hours. Maybe if it is a 60 batch student, for the remaining 50 answer papers, you will evaluate the answer papers maybe in 2 or 3 hours. Okay, the same way, with practice, you can do it. So how a particular CO is related with a particular PO, that is the mapping strength, CO-PO mapping strength. Okay. So this is the level 1 mapping. Now, suppose we have 5 course outcomes. An example, and we have taken 9 POs. These are actually graduate attributes. These are converted into POs. So each CO you can map with the POs. These are the mapping strength. The body of the table represents the mapping strength. Mapping strength. Okay. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 means nil. 1 means low. 2 means moderate, and 3 means significant. Okay. The same way, we can map COs with PSOs. Usually we have 2 to 4 PSOs. So each and every course outcomes we can map with the PSOs. So this is the way the mapping process we can do. And now I will go to the attainment calculation. We will again discuss about this mapping there, so that we'll have a clear understanding of how the mapping process can be done. Okay. Just 1 minute. I will share the screen. Okay. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we have gone through all these definitions, so I will skip this one. I will just quickly go through some of the slides. So what is the difference between the traditional system and the outcome-based education? The traditional system, we have a teacher-centric system, whereas in the OBE, it is student-centric. The traditional system, importance on teaching and content, whereas in OBE, importance on learning and process. The traditional system, knowledge-driven and rote learning, whereas the OBE, learning ensures knowledge and performance. Okay. As a faculty, nowadays, before going to the class for a particular session, we will think like this: what should I teach today? So that is the traditional system. Okay. The outcome-based education, what should I think? What should my students be able to do with what they learn? So this is the paradigm shift. Okay. Now, I hope most of you have seen this image, usually in the internet. So what about this one? You can see 90% of learning happens when we teach others. Okay, 90% of learning happens when we teach others. So in the outcome-based education, there should be a paradigm shift from teaching to learning. Okay, and I hope most of us are faculty members here. We have learned more things when we started teaching. Okay, I hope it's true for everybody. So in OB, we should focus more on the learning part or learning activities. Then 75% of the learning happens through practicing something. So once if you understand the concept and if the student is practicing it through projects or internship, they will learn more. Through discussions, we will learn more. Through demonstrations, audiovisual activities, then reading, and only 5% learning happens through lecturing. Okay. This is available on the internet. This is a research study, report of a research study. So nowadays we are teaching about 1 hour. All our sessions maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours. In some business schools, we have 1.5 hour sections. Okay. So instead of lecturing, if we can provide them with the projects, internships, case studies, or such activities, definitely more learning will happen. Okay. Now, my question is, if you want to implement outcome-based education in a better way, you have different activities. So where you should focus, or which are the activities or assessment methods more suitable for outcome-based education? Which are the activities or assessments more suitable for implementing outcome-based education? You may have exams, you may have seminars, assignments, or projects or internship, or case studies. Can you suggest? Peer teaching, inverted classroom, yeah. Case studies, assignment, open book tests, seminars, group presentations, definitely. So most of this comes under continuous assessment rather than semestrial exams. Okay, so most of these activities are under continuous assessment. Okay, I hope you are convinced with that. Then 3 pillars of a profession. What are the 3 pillars of a profession? Or what are the 3 pillars of a teacher? Or what are the good qualities of a teacher? Or the strengths of a teacher? Mentoring, yeah. best teacher motivates and demonstrates. Good. Motivation. Motivating students. Make engaged. Gurula way of teaching, learning, and evaluation is OBE. Yeah. Facilitator. Self-reflection. Resourceful. Practical examples. Good. Knowledge, skills, attitude. Yeah. Knowledge, skills, attitude. Or we can broadly divide what all things you have mentioned there into attitude, skill, and knowledge. Or we call it ask. I hope in the first section on Bloom's taxonomy, you have gone through that. There are 3 domains of Bloom's taxonomy. One is the cognitive domain. Other one is the affective domain. Then the third one is psychomotor domain. So the cognitive domain is the knowledge. Then affective domain, attitude. And psychomotor domain represents skills. Okay, so attitude, skills, knowledge is very important. That is connected with the Bloom's taxonomy, the learning domains. Now, NBA has formulated 12 attributes for UG engineering program. And they can broadly divide these attributes into 3 areas plus 1 more, that is habit. Knowledge, attitude, skill. And lifelong learning is a habit. So, when we calculate the attainment, this would be the outcome of today's section. All of you should be able to calculate or understand the process of calculating the attainment of outcomes. And finally, we need to, my voice is not coming. Is it okay now?
You are audible, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So we have to calculate the attainment of outcomes. We have to calculate the attainment of COs, PSOs, and POs finally. So this is an example. This is an example of attainment calculation of a particular student. It's only a demonstration. See, for example, out of three, discipline knowledge, 2.3, communication skills, 1.8 out of 3. Likewise, if you are able to provide a score sheet to each and every student, your OBE implementation process is complete. To my knowledge, no institution in India is providing a score sheet like this to the students. Most of the institutions, they're calculating the attainment only for the accreditation purpose, maybe to showcasing in front of the peer team. Okay, so that is where we have to work now. Understand the process and the calculation of attainment in a proper way. For that, you need to have the thorough understanding of the Bloom's taxonomy concept. Then, mapping of outcomes, designing of COs, proper assessments, everything is important. Then only you can calculate the attainment in a proper way. Now, I will demonstrate the calculation part. And after that, I will demonstrate it by using a tool. Suppose I'm taking these 9 POs. These are the program outcomes of our institution, Marine College, Kutikana. These are the graduate attributes. We have converted it to POs. We have 9 graduate attributes. These are our POs. These are the PSOs of a BCA program. I have just taken it from the internet. So don't look at the correctness of this PSO. Only for an example, we are taking these PSOs. Again, I'm taking these 5 course outcomes from the course Introduction to Computers. Again, from internet, I have taken it. Okay, only for the demonstration purpose. Now, there are some activities in semester 1, outreach or industrial visit. These are some activities. The activities also can be mapped with the POs and PSOs so that it will contribute to the attainment of POs and PSOs. Now, for outcome-based evaluation, there will be a predefined mapping scale. Already we have discussed about a mapping scale. Okay, a 4-point scale that is there. Direct and indirect assessment methods may be used in preset proportions. That means you should have direct assessments and indirect assessments. So what is a direct assessment? What is an indirect assessment? You should have a clear understanding about it. Direct assessments means all the assessments conducted by the institution, by the faculty members. And indirect assessment means the assessments conducted by a third party or the course and survey. For example, you may be conducting a survey. You will be asking the students, in your opinion, what is your attainment, level of attainment? So the student may answer like this. If the student is responding like, yeah, it's course and survey. At the end of the course, you can conduct a survey so that the student will say that his attainment level is 3. You have to accept it. The same way, at the end of the program, you can have a survey. You can ask the student about his PO attainment. Okay. So that is indirect. Again, if you're sending the students to the industry for a particular industry visit or something like that, and if you ask the industry people to evaluate the students based on some particular method, some rubrics or something like that, that is again a third-party assessment. It also comes under the indirect assessment. Then components of assessment, it can be substantive examinations, regular internal exams, internal assessments, other innovative continuous assessments, activities, events, personality assessments. You can have n number of activities or assessments which you can contribute to the attainment calculation of the outcomes. Questions in semester and examinations get mapped to different COs. Already we have discussed how each and every question can be mapped with the COs. Other components may wholly or at rubric level get mapped to different outcomes. And COs are in turn mapped to POs and PSOs. That is a level 1 mapping. We have discussed it. General activities may also be mapped to POs and PSOs. We can directly map with the POs and PSOs. CO attainments can be tabulated at the end of each semester based on student scores. So course means we'll be starting the course in the beginning of the semester and the course will be over by the end of the semester. So you can calculate CO attainments at the end of the semester. Whereas PO and PSOs, the final calculation can be done at the end of the program. If it's a 3-year program, at the end of the program, you can calculate it. But in between every semester, you can calculate because each and every CO attainment, when we calculate the attainment of COs, that will be contributing to the attainment of POs. So every semester you can calculate it and you can add on to it in each semester so that at the end of the program, you can calculate PO and PSO attainments. The same mapping scale we are using here again for attainment calculation. It just we have gone through it, a 4-point scale. You can see the intervals, everything here, same. CO-PSO mapping, already we have discussed. If there are 5 COs, all the COs can be mapped with some POs. And the activity outcomes also can be mapped with the POs. Activity means we are conducting some activities. This is outside the continuous assessments or the substantive assessments. So this is the course articulation matrix or sample program matrix for outcome-based education. See, for example, in the first column, you can see the course outcomes. We will take an example of a BCom course. Suppose it's a 3-year program. Suppose we have 5 courses in each semester. A 3-year program means 6 semesters will be there. So for a BCom course of 6 semesters, if 5 courses on average in a semester, 6 into 5, there will be 30 courses. Okay. In some cases, more than 30, but for the example, we will take 30 courses, 30 into 5. How many course outcomes? If there are 5 course outcomes for each course, 30 into 5, that means 150 course outcomes will be there. So there will be 150 course outcomes for this particular BCom program. And you can see all the course outcomes, the first column. And this 150 course outcomes, you have to map with each and every POs and PSOs. So this is the sample program matrix for an outcome-based education. and how the mapping process can be done. For example, in the first semester, you will be teaching 5 courses. 5 different faculty members will be teaching these 5 courses. For each course, you may have 5 course outcomes. So in the beginning of the semester, that 5 course outcomes can be mapped with the respective POs and PSOs. It may take only half an hour for a particular faculty. So every semester you can do it, or the beginning of the program, you can conduct a workshop in the department for 1 day, 1 full day, and you can map all the COs of that BCom program with the POs and PSOs. So in 1 full day, you can complete it. Okay. So this is the way you can map COs and PSOs. Okay. Now the most important thing is a CO-linked assessment plan. Every faculty member who is teaching a particular course to prepare a CO-linked assessment plan. Say, for example, here, this is a course with 60% semester examination, 60%, and 40% for continuous assessment, which includes seminar, assignment, many other activities. Okay, suppose I'm going to conduct a seminar. The marks for the seminar is 4. We have a course outcome, that is CO1. Suppose I'm providing a topic based on course outcome number 1 for this seminar. Okay, that means if the student, they will present the seminar based on a particular topic, if the student is getting 100% mark for that, then for this particular activity, the attainment will be 100%. Okay, the same way assignment, maybe a topic related to CO2, video presentation related to CO3. This is only an example. Even you can give a seminar topic based on CO1 and CO2. It is also possible. I'm taking a simple example to understand the process of calculating the attainment. Okay. The same way group activity mapped with the CO2 and CO4. News analysis, that is an activity outcome. Similarly, we have 3 exams, internal exams, 5 marks, 7.5 marks, and 7.5 marks. The first internal exam, I'm asking questions from the first 2 modules, for example, which is mapped with the CO1 and CO2. The same way, I have a final exam, 60% mark for final exam, and it is mapped with the 5 course outcomes. 5 course outcomes, you can see. Because for the final exam, I'm asking questions from every module or every unit. Okay, so entire syllabus will be covered. So in this way, we can prepare a CO-linked assessment plan. Okay, so that every CO will be properly addressed. Now, I'm going to calculate the attainment by a student X for a particular student. Suppose the student is getting 40% mark for a seminar. 40% mark for seminar. You can see that seminar is mapped with the CO1. So he's got only 40% score mark for seminar. 40% falls in the which interval? 1 to 50%. No? For the mapping scale, the first interval, if the student is getting 0, then 0 attainment. From 1 to 50%, attainment is 1, low attainment. So that is why the last column, the attainment for seminar is 1. And for assignment, suppose the student is scoring 85% mark. 85% mark for assignment. That means it falls in the interval 71 to 100%, the mapping scale. So significant, that means level 3, mapping scale level 3. Similarly, for each task, based on the score, the percentage, we will have the attainment. And for final exam, I will be calculating it later. So you can see for different activities, the score percentage and the attainment. Now, you can see CO1. CO1 appears in 2 places for seminar and exam 1. For seminar 1, the score is 1, attainment is 1. For exam 1, sorry, for seminar, the score is 1. For exam 1, the score is 2 for CO1. So CO1 attainment is 1 plus 2 by 2, taking the average. Okay. This is for CO1. Similarly, CO2. To take CO2, CO2 appears in 3 places. One for assignment, attainment is 3. Group activity, attainment is again 3. And exam 1, attainment is 2. So 3 plus 3 plus 2 divided by 3. So I'm taking the simple average here. Actually, we have to take the weighted average. I will give you another example considering the weighted average. So in this way, we can calculate the attainment for a particular student for the continuous assessment. Okay. Now coming to the final exam. If you're is a autonomous college or an university, you will get the question-based marks. Now, I'm going to calculate the attainment of CO1. Okay. Suppose in the question paper, there are 25 questions. In total, there are 25 questions. And out of 25 questions, I'm picking those questions which are mapped with the CO1. Those questions which are mapped with the CO1. All these 25 questions are mapped with the different COs. Okay. So question number 1 is mapped with the CO1. Question number 16 is mapped with the CO1. Similarly, 18, 23, and 25. These are 5 questions in the question paper which are mapped with the CO1. Other questions may be mapped with the different COs. Now you can see the last column, weightage. So what is it? Question number 1 mapped with the CO1 with the weight 2. We have already discussed how a question can be mapped with a CO. Depending on the level of the CO and level of the question, you can map it. Question number 16 mapped with the CO1 with a weightage 3. Similarly, each and every question is mapped with a CO1 here with different weights. It is there. It's the last column. Now you can see the second column. Suppose after conducting the exam, we are entering the marks. First question, 1 out of 1. That means it's a 1 mark question. The student has scored 100% mark. So the question level attainment is 3. Because from 71 to 100%, it is 3. Question number 16, 1.5 out of 2. That means 75% mark. So question level attainment is 3 again. Question number 18, 50%. Question level attainment is 1 because 1 to 50% low level attainment. Similarly for 23 and 25, the questions. So here you can see we are taking the weighted average. Question level attainment, first one, 3, weightage is 2, 3 into 2, plus 3 into 3, plus 1 into 1, plus 2 into 2, plus 1 into 3, divided by the total weight. So you're getting a 2.09. So, I'm just explaining the process because you have to understand the process when we are going for accreditation from the peer team visit. They will ask what is the process of calculating your attainment. And for calculating the attainment, manual process is not viable. So you cannot do it manually. You need to have an OBE, some tools, or probably you have your ERP where you can calculate the values once if you upload the marks and mapping and everything. Okay. So I will definitely I will explain it with a tool so that you can understand it, how easy it can be. So this is the way we can calculate the attainment. This is the CO1 attainment for a particular student for the semester end exam. Now, ratio for calculation. See, for example, how much weightage we have to give for continuous assessment. How much weightage we have to give for final exam. Already we have discussed the learning activities. When we implement outcome-based education, you need to have more learning activities. And all these learning activities comes in the continuous assessments. Because assignment, seminar, projects, everything comes in the continuous assessment. So in that case, for calculating the attainment, we can give more importance, more weightage for the continuous assessment. So here, even though for continuous assessment, it's only 40% weightage, for attainment calculation, I'm giving 80%. Weightage is based on one factor. Definitely weightage is based on this thing like the continuous assessment is more suitable for OB, for attainment calculation. Okay, so the institution can define a policy based on it. When you prepare an OB manual, there is a template for OB manual available in the LMS. You can go through it. When we prepare the OB manual, you can have the policy there. This 80%, 20% I have, this is the proportion here I am using. You can change it. You can change it. Some institutions, they are having 90% for continuous assessment weightage and 10% for final exam. Even there are some affiliated colleges, they are giving 100% weightage for continuous assessment and no weightage for final exam. Because for affiliated colleges, they are not able to identify the marks, question-wise marks. That's the reason. Okay. So for OB attainment calculation, this will not reflect in the mark list. The mark list, you have the continuous assessment 40% and maybe 30% or whatever it is, according to your regulations, that will be there in the mark list. But for calculation of attainment, you can change that proportion. Okay. So here 80% for continuous assessment, 20% for final examination. Based on that, we have calculated it. Now coming to the direct and indirect assessments. So how much percentage, how much weightage you have to give for direct assessment? We can give 80% or 90% for direct assessment and 20% or in some cases 10% for indirect assessment or survey. Okay. But also you can calculate based on this proportion. And finally, you will get the CO1, CO2 attainment. Okay. So once if you get the CO1, CO2, CO3 attainments for each student, you will get a table like this. If there are 60 students, you'll get a table like this. You can calculate the average CO attainment of the batch, and you can convert it into percentage attainment. All these are possible. So I will quickly go through this, and I will show you a tool where the analytics part is given. So you can say there are some analytics like percentage of students attaining more than 60% in the level. Now coming to the PO calculation, already we have all our COs are mapped with the POs. Already we have the mapping done. So once you calculate COs, based on the mapping strength, you can calculate POs. See, for example, the first column. If all the COs are calculated, the first column, you can take the weighted average. And that weighted average in the first column gives your PO1 attainment. Similarly, the weighted average in your second column gives the PO2 attainment. So you can calculate PO1, PO2, etc. All these things. Okay. Again, for a PO attainment calculation, you need to have the direct assessment and indirect assessment. Suppose you are giving 80% weightage for a direct assessment. This is the calculation. So finally, for each PO, you can calculate it and you will get a table like this. This is for the 60 students. If there are 60 students in the batch, you will get the PO1, PO2, etc. In different columns, you will get it. Then more analytics on PO and PSO. Again, institutional level evaluation is possible. You can have average attainment level. You can conduct alumni survey, then employer survey, then identifying the gap and formulating action plans. That is very important for OB. I will quickly go through a tool now. So this is my phone number and my email address. If you want discuss something in future, we can contact me these numbers and the mail ID. So we will just go through a tool now, how we can calculate the attainment. After that, we can have the question answer section. So I hope my screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So calculating the attainment manually is a tedious task. It's very difficult. So this is a tool we have developed, and many institutions are using it. I will just go through this one. This is the faculty login where you can see all the courses taught by a particular faculty. All the courses taught by a particular faculty is there in this particular interface. Now, suppose I'm considering a course. Just click manage. The faculty has to upload the course outcomes along with the targets for each course outcome. So you have the course outcomes, you can upload it. You can download a template, Excel template, and you can upload this course outcomes to the system. And for each course outcome, you need to have targets also. You can set targets for each course outcome. Okay. So if you are going for the first time for OBE implementation, definitely you can have a lower target, like 50% or 60% maximum. So once if you upload the course outcomes and targets, you can have the mapping. So the mapping, you can see the map is already done here, but it's very simple. All the course outcomes are there. The POs are also mentioned there. You can give the mapping for CO1 mapped with the PO1. What is the strength? So once we map it, again here you can use a template, Excel template. You can do it. Okay. I will share my mail ID and phone number once again. Okay, after this. Yeah. You can see the mapping strength table. Then CO-PSO mapping, that also can be done. Finally, the summary. See, for example, after the mapping process, you can look at the analytics. I will explain it. You can see the PO1, domain knowledge. Domain knowledge, that is PO1. Here you can see most of the COs are mapped with the PO1. Okay. But if you consider the second one, communicative competency is a PO2. Only 2 COs are mapped with this particular PO. But for PO3, you can see more COs are there. So, but after the mapping process, if you go to the summary, you can see this analytics. So the problem is, if very less number of COs are mapped with a particular PO, or a particular PO is not properly represented by COs, that is not good. So in that case, what you can do is, you can revisit the COs again and see whether some other COs can also be mapped. See, for example, if you have 150 course outcomes, already we have discussed about a BCom program, which consists of around 150 course outcomes. Okay, 30 courses into 5 course outcomes. So out of 150 course outcomes, you can fix a threshold when we implement OB. Say, for example, we can say 20%, at least 20% of the COs should be mapped with the every POs. So a minimum number you can mention. Okay. And if a particular PO is not properly represented by COs, next year when we redesign the syllabus, you have to look upon this particular case. Okay. Now, after the mapping process, you have to go to the components. See, suppose we are conducting an internal exam. Suppose this is an internal exam with 15 questions. Each and every question you can map with the Bloom's taxonomy levels and the COs also. These are the COs, course outcomes. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, the top. And these are the mapping strength. Question number 1, for example, it's a remember level question mapped with the course outcome 1 with the weightage 2, mapped with the course outcome 2 with weightage 2, etc. It's only a demo. only for your understanding. Okay, so we have the questions here mapped with the Bloom's taxonomy levels and COs. Probably day after tomorrow, I will show you another tool where all these questions you can map with the taxonomy, and automatically that value can be brought here. Okay. So here also you can download a template, and each and every question you map with the taxonomy levels and COs. Now, suppose you are conducting seminar or assignment, that also you can have the criteria or rubrics for evaluation of the seminar, and each and every rubrics you can map with the taxonomy levels and COs. Otherwise, the seminar as such can be mapped with the taxonomy level and the COs. Okay, so whenever you conduct an assessment activity, some assessment activity may be OB only for calculating the attainment of OB. You will be having, say for example, debate. You are conducting a debate. That's it. That is an activity, and you are evaluating the students based on their performance in the debate. Okay, that can contribute to the attainment calculation, but it cannot be reflected in the mark list, because in the mark list you have no other assessment like that. Okay, so you can have OB only activities. You can add these activities here. Then, once if you add these activities here, then conduct the assessment and upload the mark. It's also very simple. You can have the template, as I mentioned earlier. You have the Excel templates, and you can upload the mark here, adding to the template. Download the template, and you can add the marks there. Then finally, once if you upload the marks, you'll get the attainment. So this is not a manual calculation. The software will calculate the attainment. You can see for each student, the first column, CO1 attainment out of 3. These values are out of 3. Second column is the average of the batch, average CO1 attainment. Third column, CO2 attainment. Fourth column, average CO2 attainment, likewise. So you'll get the CO attainment like this. Taxonomy level attainment also you'll get. What is the remember level attainment, understand level attainment. You will get PO attainment. This is a PO attainment out of 3 of each student. Okay. Similarly, PSO attainment. PSO attainment also will be displayed like this, out of 3. These values are out of 3. And there are a lot of reports available. These are the analytical reports which will be used for accreditation purpose and all. See, for example, we have with the target. So the target for each course outcomes. There's the first row. Then the average of the batch, average attainment for each course outcome. Standard deviation. Then percentage attainment. See, for example, you can see CO1 attainment. The target was 60% for CO1. The percentage attainment is 90%. That means 90% of the students have attained that 60% target. Okay. The second one, CO2, 90% of the students of the batch have attained 60% target. And CO3, only 17.5% of the students have attained that 60% target. That means it's very less. So in that case, what you can do is you can conduct one more activity, assessment or assignment, whatever you can do. And you can bring every student to the desired level. Okay. Or we call it assurance of learning. This is also good for accreditation purpose. You can mention that to every student who is joining the institution, we are assuring the student a certain level of attainment for the outcomes. Okay. Then coming to the HOD dashboard. This is the faculty dashboard. We'll go to the HOD dashboard. I will just show you some reports. Otherwise, it will take more time. I will just show you one progression report. See, this is an example of the progression of the student, how the student is progressing over the semesters in different taxonomy levels. You can see the yellow color that represents the student performance, a performance of a particular student, whereas that the blue line represents the batch performance, how the batch is performing over the semesters. or how the batch is progressing over the semesters, the taxonomy level. Then the PO level, you can see the PO level. So you can see the comparison. The student performance is less compared to the batch performance. So this is useful for the PTA meetings. You can convince the parents how your student, your child is performing compared to the batch performance. Again, we can have semester-wise reports. I'll show you a report the second semester of a particular student compared to the first semester, how the student is performing in the second semester compared to the first semester. You can see more upward trends, PO attainment, PSO attainment, everywhere, upward trends. And going to the third semester, sorry, third semester, you can see more downward trend for the same student. So that means something happened to that student, maybe his personal problem or a family problem, or it sometimes some problem with a particular subject. That is why he's suddenly coming down. Okay, so this will be going to the outlays report. So we have an outlays report where such students are listed. That will help the faculty members or the department to have remedial measures. You can implement some remedial measures for these particular students. Also, we have a slow learners report, advanced learners report, everything is available. The only thing is, if you properly do the mapping or your assessments, then only we can have the accurate reports. Otherwise, there is no meaning in all these reports. So it's very important that we should have a thorough understanding of the learning domains. Then, while framing questions, you look at the cognitive challenge of the questions, the assessment activities, then map the questions or assessment activities with COs. Then CO-PO mapping should be perfect. In that case, you can easily calculate the attainment, and they can have many such reports. There are a lot of reports available like this. For the time being, I'm stopping here, and I will give you an idea about some tasks also today. So, okay. And after that, we will have a Q&A section. So, this is a task. This is a task 3, I think, in your learning management system. Formulation of assessment questions with respect to course outcome and finding the mapping strength. It's a very simple task. So you can pick up a topic from the course for which you have written course outcome. You may have a course outcome. Write assessment questions from the topic that addresses the course outcome at the level provided in the table. Also find out the mapping strength of the assessment question to the selected course outcome. It's very simple. I will explain it. You may have a course outcome. So you can type that course outcome here. Then you have to frame a question on the remembering level. And you put the mapping strength here. Okay, your course outcome, you can write there. So already you might have a course outcome. So you can put that course outcome there. The same course outcome or a different course outcome, you can put it here. And another, you can frame a question on the understanding level, and you can give the mapping strength here. The same way, you have to frame 4 questions to the analyzing level. The same course outcome you can use or a different course outcome. This is the mapping strength. Already we have discussed it. It's there. So this is one task. And we have one more task. This may be interesting for you. I have shared an Excel sheet. Is it visible? Or I'll share once more. Is it visible, the Excel sheet?
No, it's
No,
coming
okay,
up white screen.
okay. I think it's not visible. I will share it again. Yeah, this is an Excel template. Yeah, an Excel template where for understanding the calculation of attainment, just you can do this task. So you can see the first sheet of this Excel sheet, CO mapping. So you can have the CO1. No need of writing the course outcome. CO1 is there. CO2 is there. Okay. Now, here question number 1. For example, you consider 10 questions from a question paper of your subject. Question number 1 can map with a particular CO. You have the course outcomes also. So suppose it is mapped with the CO2 with a mapping strength 1, can put like this. So question number 1 mapped with the CO2 with a weightage 1. Similarly, question number 2, no need of writing the question here, just question number 2 is there, mapping with the CO1 with a weightage 2, for example. Likewise, you take 10 questions, map that questions with the COs. And you have to put the maximum mark also here. Suppose the maximum mark is 1 for these first 2 questions. Put maximum mark. Only thing you have to do is map each and every question with your COs and put the maximum marks here. That is the first sheet. All this will automatically come. The number of questions, the weightage, etc. Then the second sheet, you can consider 10 students and you can enter the mark of the students here. Roll number 1, question number 1, what is the mark for roll number 1? Similarly, for the second student, what is the mark for the question number 1? You can enter the mark there. And the target also, you have to pick the target. Maybe 50% or 60% you can give target for each course outcomes. Number of students, if you are considering 10 students, put 10 there. So the first sheet, just map the questions with the COs. And the maximum mark also you have to put it there. The second sheet, enter the marks for 10 students. Okay. And the target for each CO and the number of students. The third sheet, no need of entering anything. You'll get the attainment. For each course outcome, you'll get the attainment. Okay. Just go through this exercise. So you can practice it. So that's about this one. Sorry. And if you have any questions, now I'll answer the questions. Otherwise, one more thing, like you have the question paper.a. I think some of you have already gone through it. If you have any clarifications regarding that question paper.a, that AI platform, that also you can ask. This is the question paper.a, where you can create questions. You can design course outcomes once you input the syllabus, or you can have assessment activities. So when we go for an outcome-based education, definitely you should have an outcome mindset. So these assessment activities is very interesting. First day I have just gone through this. Once if you upload the course outcomes, against each course outcomes, you will get some activities. You can select some of these assessment activities that will definitely add value to your OB implementation. Most of these assessment activities, once if you generate it, they are maybe new to you. because we are thinking in a particular pattern. So you'll get more topics, more assessment activities like this. So that's about question paper. If you have any doubt, we can clear that one also. And again, the Padlet. So probably day after tomorrow, I'll give you some ideas about implementing some best practices when we go for OBE implementation to reduce your workload. This is a Padlet. This is a free tool. You can sign up to padlet.com. You can go to padlet.com and you can create your own account. It's a free tool. So day after tomorrow, I will just explain how you can use Padlet for your assessment activities so that you can reduce your workload. Okay. So just sign up to this Padlet.com and create your own account there. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, we will answer that questions. You can put in the chat box. I'll share my phone number again. This is a WhatsApp number, so you can have some. You can message me. So this is my phone number and this is the mail ID. Okay. Any questions? We'll answer. On what basis that CO target is fixed? Yeah, you can fix the CO target, like if you're going for the first time, maybe 50% or 60% target is okay. I'll tell you, see, for example, when we conduct exams, the maximum mark may be 100 or in some cases 50 or likewise. But we cannot expect that all the students will get 100% mark. Okay. Some of them may get 50% or 60%, or on an average, we can say 50% or 60%. Okay. So in the same way, when we fix the target for a CO attainment, definitely we can fix a target in between 50% and 60% to start with. And year on year, you can improve that. If the student gets, say, for example, 50% marks in seminar, will it be likewise decrease the score? I mean, score will be also decreased by 50%. No, the score will not be decreased by 50% because, we have many activities for attainment calculation. Okay. The question is mapped with PO3. No, the question you cannot map with the PO3. The POs, COs are mapped with the POs. You can map the question with the course outcome, CO3 or CO2, etc.
If you have any further questions to Dr. Medesa, you can put it in the chat. We will pick it up.
Whether POs for different programs may be different. POs usually are same for all the programs. PSOs are different. PSO means program specific outcomes. PO means program outcomes. So if it's an arts and science college, definitely you need only one set of PO for the entire program. Then we map learning objectives to course outcome. It's not learning objectives, intended learning outcomes. See, for example, topic outcomes for you may be conducting different activities for teaching a course. So these activities you can map. CO is mapped to PO3. Does it automatically fulfill? No. If CO is mapped to PO3, a particular CO is mapped to PO3, it doesn't mean that it is automatically mapped with the PO2, because PO2 and PO3 are different. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If you have any further questions, we will discuss in the last day, Wednesday, so it's possible. Performance indices while mapping CO and PO. Performance, I think you mean competencies, no? CO-PO mapping is based on the competencies of the PO. If for a language-based course, CO on listening and speaking, Jensen has answered. Will it cause any concerns? Yeah, actually, more contribution to CO will be from the continuous assessments, not from the substantive exam. So don't worry about the substantive exam. Because we have more activities on the continuous assessment. No? We have more, if, for example, listening and speaking. Definitely, we need to have continuous assessment for that. Okay, that's fine. And that's enough. So for the time being, I think we can wind up. And thank you for patiently listening to me for the last around 2 hours. Thank you for your patience. And definitely we'll meet again on Wednesday. So we'll definitely discuss about some time-based practices and how this OBE is useful for the accreditation purpose. Okay. Once again, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mentor sir. Thank you for that wonderful session. Please note that we have posted the feedback link in the chat, both in WebEx and YouTube. Please make sure take your time to attend and just put in your comment as well. Please note, everybody, tomorrow we'll have the session on underlying threats of OBE, ChatGPT, and AI tools by Dr. Suresh Nambudiri. It will be at the same time from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. That will be our day 6 of the FDP. Please make sure you join in on time. We will start sharp at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Thank you again for joining this session. We will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.